Well, hello and welcome to this weather video. It was a beautiful sunny day. We didn't really have too many clouds around. A few in the morning, maybe a few pop-ups here and there, but absolutely deceivingly beautiful, and just lures you outside. And maybe I overdid it a little bit today because I feel pretty exhausted. I didn't do a huge hike, but tried to hike a little bit, and it was very tiring. But it was beautiful, just to the deer park, because that's right by the train station. And look at this beautiful scene here. I mean, look at these beautiful trees. Look at that really beautiful deep blue sky. Very, very nice. Look at that. So we had much better air today. Not too much haze in the air compared to yesterday. Very nice. Very beautiful. And I walked around a little bit, just that area where there's some roads you can see some pines along. But yeah, let me tell you, walking in that stuff was hard, very hard. Let me show you what it looked like. Hang on a second, I forgot. Yeah, sorry about that. I don't usually do that, but this is what it looked like, and you can see here. When you're walking, the conditions, because we had that sleet, so what it is instead of just getting snow, you have a layer of ice. You look closely here, you can see. When you walk, you're getting this caked-in ice. That's there's a coating of ice on top of the snow. When you walk into it, you got to be really careful because it's like you're crashing into the ice, and it's just very, very difficult to get through. You really need skis or snowshoes or whatever. This is what I attempted. To hike in two places, Edgewood and Massapequa Preserve. Yeah, I tried to because it was just so beautiful out. And very cold, though. At least when the sun was out, it wasn't too bad. But tonight, oh my gosh, the temperatures are dropping, and it's going to be an absolutely frigid night across the area. And look at this on the weather and hazards map. See these cold weather advisories go all the way, and it's until 10 a.m. Saturday. They go all the way from the northeast all the way down to Texas. And then we have freeze warnings in effect for Florida and extreme cold warnings because Florida is going to see its coldest weather in probably 15 years coming behind this storm. And winter storm warnings are in effect for the mid-Atlantic areas, but we're not going to see any of that. But what it is for us all about the cold, and yeah, it's really cold out there. We're at 10 degrees right now, Farmingdale. See that bone-dry air, dew point -4. Take a look at Toms River, already down to -2. Wow. So they're getting some radiational cooling. They got up to 19. But with a dew point of -8, that temperature is going to drop all the way down. So Toms River is going to get very, very cold tonight in the Pine Barrens, west of Toms River. That's Miller Air Park, right? Ocean County Airport. Yep. So here on Long Island, we still have the wind keeping the temperatures up. And that kept the low at Gabreski and only got down to 5. But temperatures, yeah, around 10 degrees out there right now. And these are the high temperatures, by the way. Upper teens. Somehow we made it to the upper teens today. There have been days that have been colder than that, believe it or not, in my recent memory. But, boy, it felt really cold. And look at that. Let's see what they got to. 19 west of Toms River. A little bit warmer in southern Jersey, but let's look at these low temperatures now. And these were overnight lows here, so we got into the single digits. Islip got down to 8. Looks like 10. 9 in Central Park. And then the -2, which is the current observation there in Toms River. And then Coyle Field got down to 0. I don't know if that was recorded tonight or last night. Yeah, it's incredibly cold, and it's just incredibly coldest weather we've had in a while. And the wind's still kind of up there, and we had some winds. We'll show you what it's like, what it was like at Islip today, looking at the observations and what we dealt with today. And you can see the temperatures in the teens, and then the winds gusting into the 20s. I mean, nothing that crazy, but that wind just made it feel that much worse and that much more unbearably cold. And you can see here, yeah, look at these. The winds finally died off a little bit this evening. Still some gusts here and there, but I have a feeling a lot of areas are going to get radiational cooling and get close to 0 tonight, I think. I think that's a good possibility. Yeah, that's a very, very good possibility. We still have mostly clear skies. There are some high clouds trying to make it in from the south. Go to the Conus view here. But you can see, oh, look at this. Oh, there's a whole another batch of Arctic air coming. And that's what's heading for Florida. And we're going to get into that, too, behind the storm as well. So no real big warm-ups. And you can see, look at all that ocean effect also offshore. Probably getting some really interesting snow squalls offshore, probably. And this is our storm taking shape here in the south. So let's go over our climate statistics for islip. Didn't break any records today, but boy, I'll tell you. High of 17. All right, well, I think it was a little higher than that, but I think the other thing said it was 18. But a high of 17, which is 22 degrees below normal. A low of 8, which is 16 degrees below normal, giving us an average of 13, which is 18 degrees below normal. So, yeah, very, very cold. Really chilly. We got this cold weather advisory in effect. And Arctic cold continues this weekend. We do have coastal impacts from the coastal storm. You notice gale warnings offshore and even storm warnings further offshore. So there will be coastal impacts, but that is, I think, the only impact we're going to see from the storm that we have. Looking at our weather map, you can see here's that storm taking shape. And look at that, another big Arctic high pressure building down. Springing down another shot of really cold air. Well, it's the same part. We're getting into the same shot of it, but the center of the high is coming down closer now. So, let's go ahead and look at the models here. And I guess we'll start with and I'll just change this to the eastern U.S. view here. I'll start with the 18Z GFS. You see that big high building, but that storm just completely misses us. It hits the southeast, but then behind it, that is going to pump down some bitterly cold air. Just I'm going to take my draw tool out here. Change this to purple, I guess. Some absolutely bitterly cold air down right from the north, right over Florida and the Gulf. And they could actually see snow squalls in Florida. So that's how cold it's going to be. We're going to look at all this stuff because normally we're going to do weather video every day because of the extreme cold. Hopefully by next week things normalize and I won't have to do it as much. But get rid of this. There we go. So, but right now we are in some crazy stuff. So that's the GFS. Look at the European. They're on agreement. We're not going to see anything but a little wind from it and some coastal impacts. But that is a tight storm. It's actually double barrel too, but it's kind of just stays well east of us. Thank God it does, because I mean I couldn't imagine getting any more snow on top of what we already have. Yeah, let's go ahead and look at the. So now you get an idea of where the storm is not going to hit us. So let's go and take a close look at our weather, and then we'll go ahead and look at what Florida is going to be dealing with. So we don't want to talk about that, but it's so anomalous. So we're dry. You see there's the HRRR. Stays well to the east of us. Not going to see any impacts for us except for wind and cloud cover, and that's it. Let's get our dew points and wind flow. Obviously, so here's our dew points and wind flow, and obviously northwest winds become a little more northerly tomorrow. So it's going to keep the cold air in place, and then they turn a little more northeast Sunday, and then start accelerating. The winds start picking up as we get into Sunday. All right, and that's going to and then into Monday, and that's just going to bring in more, keep the cold air pretty much in place. So our temperatures here, they're going nowhere. I mean, tonight. We're going to see lows around 0 for a lot of people. Close to 0 on my alley may not, or may make it to the single digits. We'll have to see. But if you're in the Pine Barrens, you're going well below 0 tonight, like at least like 5 to 10 below, I think. And then for tomorrow, yeah, it's going to be similar to today, highs in the upper teens. And then tomorrow night, we'll have the clouds and the wind increase. So tomorrow night shouldn't be quite as cold, but it could still get down to around 10 degrees at night. And then for Sunday, still cold. Maybe we make it to the low 20s, perhaps. Yeah, that's what we're dealing with right now. Let's go ahead and look at we did all that. Let's go to the RGM and we'll look at the skies. And again, no storm for us. So tomorrow we might actually start. There's some high clouds, but they're just off to the south. We may actually have some mostly sunny conditions for part of the day. Then the clouds kind of increase, but there'll still be sunshine tomorrow. And the clouds thicken tomorrow night. And then for Sunday, we're on the outer periphery of that cloud band. And with the setting sun behind these clouds, it could actually be a pretty nice sunset on Sunday. You just better bundle up, that's all. And then as we get to Monday, you can see how it moves on out. And then we have sunshine returning. So, but I'm just covering the weekend here at this point. So let's go to the... let's go and look at the... Let's change this to the southeast view. Southeastern U.S. view. So we can take a look at the HRRR here and show you what's going to be happening here, because it's pretty interesting. So here's the HRRR, and here's our storm. All right. So here's our storm here, and then look at what happens over here. You see that on the west coast of Florida, and it might even be cold enough for that to be a snow shower, perhaps. Some of the models were indicating that. So that's how cold the air is going to be. Because if we look at the dew points and wind flow here over Florida, you can see that really bitterly cold air that comes down behind this. All right, and that is again, well, that's the dew points. All right, but our temperatures. Look what happens to the temperatures behind the storm. Look at that, freezing all the way down to Miami, perhaps on Sunday morning. That is crazy. And with that really cold air over that really warm water, it's going to do some interesting things. That's all I could say. You have water temperatures here that are, well, we go to Earth and Old School here. Just do that. And you have water temperatures in this area. I mean, you're taking air that's below freezing and you're putting it over sea surface temperatures that are at, let's see, 66 degrees. Yeah, that's almost 70-degree water. So that is going to do some interesting things for sure. Yeah, that is definitely going to do some interesting things. Now, as far as the total snowfall for the storm, for the areas that will be getting hit, you could see that some areas, particularly eastern North Carolina and eastern South Carolina, could see maybe close to a foot, 8 inches to perhaps as much as 12 inches, according to the HRRR. GFS, looking at the 18Z run here, and they're pretty much in agreement on this. We usually use the shorter range models. Here's the NAM. So it probably won't make it to a foot, but it's unusual to have a lot of snow here. Okay, here's what the NAM is doing. Take a look at Tampa. Coating of snow right here. So the NAM is probably showing these snow squalls that could develop. So here we go. Look at what happens. So behind the storm, take a look at that. Right over Tampa. It could be perhaps some snowflakes in Tampa, Florida, which is pretty insane. And that is absolutely insane. I gotta say, that is insane. Like I said, the polar vortex is just over us, and we're in just an insane deep freeze at this point. So look at the temperatures here, and you see how they crash behind the storm here. Boom. I mean, that's nuts. I mean, that's just nuts over Florida. So it's going to be a damaging cold for Florida, for sure, behind this storm. Yeah, very interesting to see this, and we'll definitely be keeping an eye on it, even though it's not something that's in our area. It's very, very unusual, for sure. So let's go to windy.com, and we'll just take a look at the coastal impacts for our area from this storm. So let's go to wind gusts, and we won't have too much wind for tomorrow, but as we get to Sunday, here we go. Look at that wind gusts. Look at this on this side of the storm here. Euro is saying perhaps over 100 miles an hour. This will be a bomb low or a bomb cyclone, but it's going to be offshore for the most part. So look, it spares everybody on land the worst impacts, pretty much. So we probably won't be needing any wind advisories for this storm. I don't think so. I definitely don't think so. But Sunday will be windy, so we will have gusts possibly up to 40. And, with the temperatures being where they're at, it's going to feel pretty damn cold. And then the wind starts subsiding by Monday to a more normal level. But as far as tomorrow goes, light winds. And I already went over the impacts with the ocean. So I'm not going to go over again, but we will have some coastal impacts, though. With the storm farther away, it shouldn't be terrible. But we will go ahead and look at the waves here as we get into Sunday, and you can see The worst of it's going to be in the Carolinas, and this is just some insane waves right around the center of the storm, 31 foot. So really crazy stuff. Where's Bermuda? Bermuda's over here. Bermuda's going to get into this as well. Yeah, and then there will be some rough surf offshore. So offshore, but I don't think it gets too close because the storm is moving away. And then by later in the Monday, it all dies down pretty much. And again, we can look at the snowfall amount on here before I go to, listen, just show you what the Euro forecast is. No snow. Whoops. No snow for us from this storm. But again, Delmarva could get some. Carolinas here you have. And then down to perhaps Georgia, Savannah, Georgia, which almost never sees snow. I'm wondering if this isn't showing that snow squall. But I have a feeling we're going to see some snow squalls, and they could be pretty violent. Who knows? Maybe there might even be a severe snow squall warning for a severe snow squall with a shelf cloud and all that. Who knows what could happen over there when you put that kind of really bitterly cold air over that warm water. I mean, that's going to do some really crazy stuff. So anyway, I'll be back tomorrow night talking about our cold and the lows that we had briefly, and then Sunday we'll talk more about the extended outlook, and no big warm up, a little tiny bit of moderation to instead of being deadly frigid, it's gonna go just to frigid, but there's no real change in what we're going to be dealing with. So have a good night, stay warm, be careful out there.